Hey there, friends. Thanks for joining me today. We're almost back to the weekend again, and I was just thinking this morning that this summer has really gone by fast, hasn't it? People in this area started school the other day, and before you know it, it's going to be fall. But anyhow, today I just wanted to share my top 5 pieces of plant-based advice with you. This is a really easy way to eat until people try to overcomplicate it and they try to dive too deep and get a little fancy with it and really just overthink it and try to follow it, probably like diets that most people have followed in the past. So always just trying to keep it as easy for you as possible. And my number one piece of advice is to keep it whole and to keep it simple. Talking about stuff like fruits, vegetables, legumes, greens, nuts, seeds, whole grains, anything that's fresh like that. It comes from the ground, not necessarily from a factory. And, nobody's going to do it right all the time. I'm not saying you're never going to have any processed food, and processed is kind of a loaded word because it depends on how processed and what do you mean with it. But in general, you're going to do the best eating like this by eating just the regular whole foods. Number 2, kind of in the simple thing, don't overcomplicate it, but here I'm talking about with the recipes. Now I'm always talking about getting a lot of variety and getting, trying to get 30 different plants in a week and eating, a wide variety of things. But that comes to the food. Like when I'm making something, say for instance, I'm making a salad, I'm trying to, include as many good ingredients in it as possible. But I tend to see people when it comes to the recipes themselves, like making a sauce or actually, putting together a recipe, where they just start throwing in a bunch of things in there and they kind of overdo it, tend to put too many things in there, tend to put too much fat in their recipes, not paying attention. So just keep the recipes simple, but eat a wide variety of colors and textures and plants and what have you. Number 3, stop overeating. You're not a rabbit. That's why most people don't sustain eating like this. And the reason the people don't sustain eating like this is they don't eat. They're always kind of like on a diet. They're always detoxing. They're always doing some sort of a cleanse or a feast. Or they're just following it how we used to do when we would do a diet. When you're trying to lose weight, what was it always about? It was always about restricting, maybe skipping a meal, eating less at a meal than what satisfied you. Because probably if you're anything like me, the types of things you were eating when you were following those diets are things that are pretty calorically dense. So you had to limit those things. That's the beauty. When you start eating a whole food plant-based diet, you realize that there's not as much calories in this type of food, which means that you can eat more of it. And when you eat more of it and fill your stomach, you tend to be satisfied. And when you're satisfied, you stick to something. It's really as simple as that. Number 4, don't try to be perfect. Just be consistent. So many people are constantly just, they worry about some little tiny thing and then they screw up in a major area. Like there's always some little new report comes out like, if you blend this at the same time you blend this, it degrades the blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, what are you talking about? Or they'll focus on one little thing, something, they'll see something in a recipe and they'll be going like, oh no, that's terrible. You can't use that. I'm not going to use this. I'm only going to do this. I'm going to try to be as perfect as possible. And perfect just kills good. Perfect kills good. As you start eating this way, you will just naturally want more and more, fruits and vegetables, this type of food. And you will naturally, as you let go of things, that's the biggest thing where it comes to taste and some of the flavors that we're accustomed to, the cravings and things you can't let go of. You can't let go of those things because they're part of something that you've been taking in. It's not necessarily always an addiction, but it's like, we have, if you've done this if you've eaten like this before, if you've eaten like this for a while, you can probably relate to this. There were certain things when I first started eating this way that I just still had a taste for it. It was on my tongue. It was on my tongue. The longer I went without it, the longer I didn't use certain ingredients, the longer I didn't use certain things, the less I wanted them. So I didn't push those things. I just kind of like, I tried to eat good plant-based food. I tried to make a good selection of a variety of different things. Probably made a lot of mistakes in the beginnings. No probably to it. I did, but I never have been so caught up in the perfection. It's just kind of been like progressing, getting a little bit better, learning a little bit more, and just kind of honing what I eat as I go. And number 5 is you're eating for the long game. Once again, this isn't a diet. This isn't something, okay, I'm going to do this for 3 months to lose weight for a wedding or lose weight for an event, or I'm going to do this for a period of time for something, or just, I'm going to do something, and when I get to this point, I'll probably go back to eating the way I did, which is how most diets work. We're eating here for energy. The 3 things I eat for are energy, longevity, and gut health. And I find I firmly believe that the gut health and the longevity are tied there together, but I know the food that I'm getting, does it energize me? After I eat, am I has it sapped my energy? Do I not want to do anything? No. I'm often, it's probably not ideal even eating like this, but a lot of times I eat lunch, I brush my teeth, and then I drive to the gym. So I'm working out within like a half an hour after eating my main lunch meal. So I'm eating things that give me energy. I'm not eating things that slow me down, that take that energy away. Always, always, always thinking gut health. And I think the gut health leads into longevity. That's why I always want to recommend over and over and over, if you have not read it, read Fiber Fueled by Dr. Will Bulsiewicz. He gets into some stuff, and if you listen to his talks, he talks about how you take it beyond the gut health just being about the gut and how your digestion works, how you're eliminating, and it kind of spills over into longevity. There's a lot of stuff he talks about that you'll need to listen to it from him, like even people that have very good gut health have a very diverse microbiome. Even when they get cancers, they tend to have better results from these cancers because of stronger gut health. 70 to 80%, depending on who you talk to, say that our 80% of our gut health, of our immune system, is in our gut. So that affects so much of our overall health right there, to where that's just something that I'm thinking about almost with every meal. It's always about, what did I eat yesterday? What did I eat earlier today? What different things can I eat, for the next meal or whatever. But anyhow, I hope I didn't ramble too much there, and that you guys were able to get a little something out of that. But if you like this video today, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button, and I might see you one more time, or if not, have a beautiful weekend. Peace.